Hello everyone, welcome to the England Hockey League preview podcast for this week, looking ahead to the upcoming fixtures in the Premier Division. I'm Andy Day, your host. Later on, I'll be checking in with two teams that won their opening fixture on a first match day that rained goals, as well as actual rain by the bucket load. But first, this weekend's Premier Division games. This second weekend of play sees 12 matches in the women's and men's Premier Divisions. Let's focus first on the Women's Premier classified fixture list, followed by a closer look in order of start time. Getting us underway at midday, Sutton Coldfield and East Grinstead, 12:30 for Reading Clifton Robinsons. Two matches at 1:30, Bowdon and Holcombe meet, so do Wimbledon and Loughborough Students. 3 o'clock it's Surbiton University of Nottingham, and at 4 Hampstead and Westminster play University of Birmingham. And now those matches in detail. Two teams that open the season with a win meet at Sugden Road. Surbiton coming off the back of a 2-0 win on the road at Clifton Robinsons, and the University of Nottingham taking 3 points in a tight 1-0 defeat of Bowdon. These two teams know each other well, meeting 3 times last season. Surbiton have a 100% record against University of Nottingham. Can the University team make inroads into that this match week? Loughborough Students travel to Wimbledon in the only match in the Women's Premier, with both teams looking for an opening win. I fancy this is the match of the round, as Loughborough and Wimbledon both made the league finals pools last season. Wimbledon are looking to maintain their great record against Loughborough in the league, although their last meeting was a rare 0-0 draw. Expect fireworks this time round. Reading versus Clifton Robinsons. We'll be checking in with Rob Foxall-Smith of Reading later on, so let's focus on Clifton Robinsons now. They'll be hoping to emulate the outcome from their last visit to Sonning Lane back in October 2022, when Eloise Leahy and Catherine McCauley scored in a 2-1 win. This game looks great, as both teams will be seeking 3 valuable early season points. A close game with goals almost guaranteed. University of Birmingham are the early pace setters following their big win on the opening day. They travel to Hampstead and Westminster with a degree of confidence in seeking their first ever win in the Premier Division over Hampstead and Westminster. The hosts are back in action a week after a single goal defeat to East Grinstead on the road. This also looks like a very good match in prospect. Sutton Coldfield will welcome East Grinstead, the 2023 champions, at Windley, a game that Sarah Price told me she was looking forward to when we spoke last week. East Grinstead are seeking to extend their 11-game unbeaten streak, continuing after their home win against Hampstead and Westminster last week. Sutton Coldfield are hoping for a closer result than in their cross-city derby last week, and will surely be keen for those important first points on the table. Might they be coming this weekend? Finally, Bowdon host Holcombe. Following last week's close fixtures, Bowdon losing by 1, Holcombe winning by 1 on their return to the top flight. A close match seems very likely. Historically in this fixture, both teams have won 2 each and drawn 2 of the 6 fixtures. Leading the scoring charts after week 1, hat-trick scorer for University of Birmingham, Hannah Pearce. The classified men's Premier fixtures look like this in start time order. Oxted East Grinstead at 4:30, 5 o'clock for Wimbledon Bowdon, and the remaining fixtures all at 6 p.m. Cardiff and Met Holcombe, Hampstead and Westminster play Beeston, Old Georgians play Southgate, and Richmond host Surbiton. The champions got off to a flying start, with Old Georgians scoring 6 on their travels away at Bowdon. They meet Southgate in their opening home fixture, a team that are now 7 fixtures without a Premier Division victory. This exact fixture was played twice last season and totalled 19 goals, with OG scoring 12 of them. I wonder if it will rain goals again this time around. Wimbledon host Bowdon and meet for the first time ever in the league at any level. This is a match where both teams lost their opening fixture and will both be hungry for points. Mentioning rare meetings, Cardiff and Met play Holcombe for only the second time, both teams here winning their opening fixtures. Cardiff and Met have yet to win at home in the Premier Division. I asked Cardiff and Met's Walid Abdo about their chances. We'll hear from him later on. Richmond's debut Premier Division home fixture is against Surbiton. I was at their game last weekend at a soggy Beeston. Before the game was called off, Richmond looked composed and were a touch unlucky to find themselves 3-0 down at three-quarter time when the game was suspended. Surbiton were successful at home with a 4-2 opening win against Oxted, and it's their last match before hosting the Euro Hockey League KO16, where they and Wimbledon will be playing alongside some of the best club teams in Europe. Visit their socials for details of how to get tickets. Hampstead and Westminster, beaten 1-0 by East Grinstead last time out, host the Beeston side, who were 3-0 up and looking good for 3 points until the intervention of a massive lightning storm in the East Midlands. And the 3 goals from Rawlings, Sutton and Croft are scrubbed from the books. Both teams certainly keen for 3 points, after disappointment for different reasons in Week 1. Our final fixture is my pick this week, Oxted and East Grinstead. 2 teams who are seeking a first win both meet in what looks like a traditional early season fixture. Both teams scored last weekend in defeat. Both teams had similar final records last season, and historically you're never waiting too long for a goal in this fixture. So it's either going to be a goal fest or a 0-0 with no middle ground. 2 men are top of the goal scorers list after week 1, 2 from Old Georgians with 2 goals apiece, Tom Carson and Sam Ward. Don't forget to visit England Hockey's socials for full listings of games and details of where games are being streamed. Earlier on, I spoke with Walid Abdo of Cardiff and Met and Rob Foxall-Smith of Reading to hear more from 2 teams with winning starts to the season. We'll hear from Walid first. I'm talking with Walid Abdo, head coach of Cardiff and Met. How are you doing today?
Really good, yeah. Life's good, can't complain at all.
You opened with a win at Southgate last week. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it was good. It's a good start for the season. Nothing more, nothing less, really. We're pleased that we started with a win. Gives us a little bit of confidence now going in to remaining games. But yeah, it's always nice to start with a win and gain some confidence.
And what does it feel like going in 2-0 up at half-time away from home?
It was, well, I was delighted. And then obviously my kind of team talk changed within a couple of minutes of half-time. So 1-0 up, you're thinking, oh, they could get back into the game. But 2-0 up is a very dangerous scoreline. You think you've won it. So you have to kind of steady the kind of emotions and make sure we go in with a couple of points to make sure we start the second half firing and not think we've done it. So it was pretty much, look, it's 0-0. Let's go again. Let's try and get the first goal, kill them off. And if they do get their first goal, then we need to really, really make sure we're the next people to score. So that was really the kind of mindset. But we were pleased, and I had a good feeling going into the game that we could do this.
Indeed, with that in mind, 3 home fixtures in a row coming up. East Grinstead first, then Bowden, then Holcombe. And it might be time for your first home win at some point soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got pretty close a couple of times last year, and we just let it slip. I mean, there was a very famous loss against Wimbledon where I think we were 3-0 up and managed to lose 4-3, and then Oxted, we were 2-0 down, got it back to 4-3 up, and then they equalised with I think it was about 7 seconds to go. So a lot of learning from the boys regarding last few seconds game management and closing up shop when we're in a good position.
So those are probably the life lessons of the first season in the top flight. What's the goal for Cardiff and Met this season?
Well, I think last year obviously was to stay in the league, which we managed and we were pretty pleased with. And this year we're hoping to make sure we're in that kind of middle bracket. Look, the top 4 is going to be difficult for any club outside the top 4 to get in there, if you know what I mean. Surbiton and Wimbledon and Georgians are like the Man City of British hockey, and Hampstead, who they're all littered with stars. So anything from I think 6 downwards is going to be a really good season for us, and we're going to try and get into that middle bracket so then we can strengthen again next year and hopefully bring in better players and even more kind of experienced guys to make sure we compete for many years.
How's the squad changed over the summer?
Yes, we've managed to bring in 6 new players into the squad to put the other players under pressure. But yeah, we've managed to get a gentleman from Adelaide Fire, the captain of Adelaide Fire, a guy called Matthew McGann, who's a quality player, experience, has come from Australia for the season. And then we've managed to get a few Welsh internationals into the team. I can't remember his name. Johnny Fleck and Will Penrose have come, experienced players from Belgium, but they're both Welsh lads, so we kind of tugged on their heartstring a bit. We've got a couple of other lads. One guy called Liam Barker, who's come. He used to play for Cardiff Uni. He's played England under 18s. Really good guy, good player, good technician. So yeah, and another boy called Louis Vane, who again has come from Cardiff Uni. Again, good player, good guy. So hopefully they can make a big impact for us this year.
I've been there for an international. What's it like there for a club game?
Well, last year's first home game, we had 600 spectators in the stands, and we had about 150, 160 people on the live stream, which is pretty special. The atmosphere's been great because we have a lot of local clubs who come to watch, not just Cardiff Met fans, to view good hockey being played at the top level.
Now it's time to talk to Rob Foxall-Smith, who's head of performance at Reading Ladies. How are you doing, Rob?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me on.
I suppose you're feeling pretty good after the first weekend's victory.
Yeah, it's strong performance. It's always nice to get 3 points, especially first day of the season, but the performance was really encouraging. I don't think anyone's underestimating the uni sides. Loughborough are an incredibly strong unit, very well coached. Jamie's doing a great job with a great squad. So we are very pleased to walk away with 3 points, essentially.
Talk us through the game.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. It was very end-to-end. It started reasonably well for us, managed to establish some control. We felt like we put good pressure on, but Loughborough are so strong in terms of their 1v1 skills. They have a very good plan and press, so they wrestled their way into it very quickly, and it became very end-to-end, both structured and unstructured. So one for the neutrals I'd recommend, and it was close right up to the final whistle. So it was nice to trade blows with a very good side.
And heading into Clifton Robinsons at home this weekend.
Yeah, we're very excited for it as the bottom line. For us, it's about building some momentum, some consistency, which are probably two of the most important parts of the league phase. We feel like we're in a really good way. We're moving the ball nicely. We feel fit. But Clifton are obviously a really stubborn opponent, one of the most decorated sides in the Premier League with the longevity they've had. So we're certainly not taking them lightly, and we're ready for a tough battle this weekend.
And looking a little bit further ahead, league finals pool last season. Is the plan to go a step further this season?
Yeah, the plan is always to win every game. It sounds really stupid, but we're not afraid of anyone. We felt like we laid some pretty good markers last year, and in the end, we're quite disappointed not to make our way into that finals bracket. So we're definitely setting our sights high, but you can't look past the game that's in front of you. This Saturday is where it starts, and we can think about finals if we earn our way there over the next sort of 10 games.
Every season there's a little turnover of players. How have the new players bedded in at Reading?
Yeah, really, really well, actually. It was about a 50% new group on the weekend. The attrition we had was a bunch of sad goodbyes to a couple of retirees, a few people travelling home after long stays in the UK. I don't think we actually lost any players to any other clubs, so it was a bit bittersweet. But the new players who have come in have settled really, really well. We've brought some experience in with people like Nicky Cochrane in goal, but some pretty exciting new talent to the Premier League as well. We've got 2 black sticks over, Anna and Emma, who have been fantastic, very professional in their work ethic. But then some players who have been around the UK scene for a while, like Annie Wilson, Georgia Jones, Anna Gavitas made a debut for us at the weekend, and a couple of people leaving university. So we're really excited with the group. They're working really hard, and the way Reading functions socially, we make sure we pick the right characters for our group, and they've settled in really, really well with the girls too.
And from what I hear, it's a great place to go and watch a game. So if you've never been before, is this the season to make it down to Sonning Lane?
Yeah, the next game is always the best game to go and watch at Sonning Lane. We've got plenty of seats. Bar is always open and well stocked, and the buzz is good. We like to play an attractive and exciting brand of hockey, and we hope that spectators leave fulfilled and having enjoyed themselves.
And thank you, Rob, and good luck for the season.
Thanks very much, Andy. Really appreciate it.
Many thanks to both. One game down already, with plenty more to come. Who'll be top dog on Saturday when the final whistle blows on match day 2? I've been your host, Andy Day. Join me again next week for your essential quick guide to the upcoming fixtures.